Hello and welcome to Nerdivox. Now, one would assume that a nerd like me would like trilogies like The Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or something like that as my favorite. Well, that's not true. This is my favorite trilogy of all time. In fact, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Let me explain. Now, the Back to the Future trilogy is something that's very close to my heart. In fact, back when I was getting married to Anisha, I was given two main roles. One, show up for the wedding, the most important one. And number two, pick the songs for the entrance and the first dance. And this, the Earth Angel song from Back to the Future, was the song I chose for our first dance. Earth Angel, Earth Angel, will you be mine? She loved it, so I guess it worked. So why is it so important to me? Well, I remember back I came back from school and my brother was watching movies on AXN, if you remember that channel, and Back to the Future was coming up on that channel, and I remember watching it and I'm thinking this is an awesome movie. And at the same time, on Star Movies, another awesome movie called Robin Hood Men in Tights was running. So my brother and I kept switching between these two movies. Like एक साइड में ad आ जाता तो वो वाला channel खोल देते हैं, and उसमें ad आ जाता तो ये वाला channel खोल देते हैं. And of the two, although like Robin Hood Men in Tights is a great movie, I kind of prefer Back to the Future. It's such an awesome movie when you think about it, right? Everything about that movie is just so perfectly made by Robert Zemeckis. It's such a great, well done movie from all aspects. Like, for example, it's a sci-fi movie that's also very accessible to pretty much anyone out there. It doesn't matter if you're very much a nerd or if you're just a casual viewer or if you just like good movies. Terms such as time travel and all is just so easily explained without going too much into it, which of course helps by making it very accessible to pretty much everyone else out there. This level of accessibility is what makes this movie such a cultural icon. In fact, pretty much everyone I know has seen Back to the Future and they loved it for that particular reason. In fact, the time travel themes that it tends to touch upon have been incorporated by pretty much all the other movies out there. In fact, it was even referenced in Avengers Endgame, wherein like when they were discussing the rules of time travel, one of the rules that they discussed was if it follows Back to the Future rules.
So Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit?
But it's just not like the way the story is done, right? Like the theme that it touches upon. It's just everything about it is just so perfectly made. The magic starts with unforgettable characters, whether it's Marty, Doc, Lorraine, or even Biff. Each of these guys are instantly distinct and full of personality. Even supporting cast has clear motivation moments to shine. No one feels wasted, and over the trilogy, almost everyone's story evolves in meaningful ways. The movie does a fantastic job of showing instead of just telling, which to be fair, a lot of movies will do so well to like understand from. This trilogy is a masterclass in visual storytelling. Instead of just saying what the characters feel or what's at stake, the movie shows it to us. Like, for example, how Marty reacts when he sees the photos fading, right? The emotion and the stakes unfold through the action and never exposition, which is something that a lot of new movies might consider. Everything about that movie was just so meticulously crafted and placed there, right? If I don't know if you're familiar with this term called Chekhov's gun, wherein like if a gun is introduced in Act One, it has to be fired in Act Two, which basically means if you show something to an audience in the first act, it has to have some sequence towards the end of it. Every detail and every line matters in the movie. For example, at the beginning of the first movie, Marty gets like a flyer handed to him, and that turns out to be a very important plot device. Nothing is wasted, and every scene lays a groundwork for the next scene or a upcoming scene. It's this attention to detail that really cements this movie in my mind as one of the greats. It asks you to watch it multiple times because every time you watch it, you'll find something different and like little Easter egg or foreshadowing. Like, for example, the mall wherein Marty McFly is introduced to the DeLorean. It's called the Twin Pines Mall. But after he goes back in time, he comes back from the future. You'll notice that it's called the Lone Pine Mall because when Marty went back in time, he destroyed one of the pine trees. It's these little details that really elevate this movie beyond just a simple time travel flick. And the comedy, of course, is a very keen aspect why it's such a good movie to watch. The movie is hilarious with like silly moments and slapstick humor and awesome one-liners. But as an adult, you'll notice that underneath all of this, the film is addressing some very deep topics such as bullying, parental expectations, second chances, even Oedipus complex. It's as clever as it is laughed as it is honest with its heart. It's a movie for all ages and everyone can enjoy it and at very different levels. And one of the best things I like about the movie is how it naturally builds up its sequels and it doesn't feel forced. It sort of wraps up the whole Marty McFly's journey, but sort of leaves the door open in case they want to make a sequel in the future. Like how when Doc comes back in and says, "Oh, it's about your kids, Marty." It's a very exciting thing and wants you to see, okay, what's next, and that in part I think is also to the excellent world building that has happened till the end of the movie. And I think one of the best reasons I still love Back to the Future is that it's untainted. What I mean by that is a lot of my favorite movies, right? Whether it's Star Trek, Star Wars, Terminator, Predator, all these were fantastic movies. From a sci-fi perspective, they're amazing movies. Back to the Future legacy remains pure. There is no like random spin-offs or TV shows or reboots that have come in, right? It's just three films and that's it. So that was a look at why I love Back to the Future so much. Let me know what you think of the movie in the comments below. And if you have your own personal movies that you want to talk about, do let me know and I'll try to talk about them. I love to discuss that with you guys, of course. And for more awesome content like this, remember to follow Nerdivox. Stay nerdy.